So what we're going to go over today is actually designing a box in Fusion 360. We're actually going to be making a toolbox. So the first thing you want to do with any design is actually just start getting everything out. I prefer to use it on paper because I'm doing this recording. I'm going to do it digitally. I use a tablet here. I am not good with tablets. So it is not going to look anything like what it would look like if I do it on paper. For example, this is what it looks like on paper. You'll see that there are multiple views and stuff in there, but we will get to that later. So the first thing we're going to do is this box is going to be designed so that we can put a smaller box inside of it. So, and then I guess my tablet does not want to wake up, so give me a second while I reset it. Here we go. There we go. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get our requirements here. So the requirements for this for the smaller box, like I said, we're going to make a toolbox that we're going to slide a smaller box in. So the smaller box is going to be 9.5. Oops. Nine and a half. Hold on 1 second here while I mute. I'll be right back. Alright, so I am back. So let's get back to those requirements. Like I said, we are looking at, it is 9 inches long. So we're going to go 9 inches long is the smaller box, right? Then it is 7 1/4 wide. And then it is 5 inches tall. So once again, this is our smaller box, right? We're going to be putting this box inside of it. So a box like this, boop, oops, be like that. Box. That box is going inside of our larger box. So we know what our minimum requirements are. It has to be over 9 inches, over 7 1/4, and over 5. So what we're looking at designing is what? A toolbox, right? So we're going to do this little side view here. Like I said, I am not good with the tablet. So just think of a standard toolbox. Okay. Standard toolbox, little handle right here. Right, standard toolbox. This is what we call a side view. So you can see this is just the side of the toolbox. And what we want is this box to fit inside this area. So let's change the color here. Change it to red. We want that box to fit in here. That's where that box is going to go. Alright. So now with this box there have been some requests for some of the dimensions. And the only dimension that's really been requested is the actual length. So instead of just being 9.5 inches. We're going to actually make this 12 inches. So we can go from here to here. It's 12 inches. We know that we need this area to be a minimum of 5 inches. Because we want this box to be completely covered, and we're going to put a lid on it. So we're going to get back to this dimension in a few minutes. But we're going to do a couple other views. So this is the side view, as we talked about, side. Now we're going to do a front view. So that is us taking the object and just turning it, right? Like I said, I'm not good with it. It's kind of very much a steeple kind of design there. Very steeple-like design there. Just erase, oops. Erase those right there. Go back to pencil. That's our side. That's our front view. So that's if we're taking the object. And then let's do a top view here. So we're going to do if we're looking at it directly from on top. This is that bar that we were talking about. So this is that bar right there. This and this are the sides. You also notice when we're looking at it from the top view, you see that there's depth or thickness here, right? Same thing here. All your material always has a thickness. So we have to keep in mind what is our thickness that we're working with. And the material that we're looking at is 1/2 inch is our material that we're going to be working with. So that's like one more view. We're going to do what they call an isometric view. So you can see like when we have this front view, you can't really see what's going on with this view. Right? So that's why we have the front view, side view, front view, and top view. Because from the side view, you can't see this bar. From the front view, you can't see this bar. From the side view, you can see the bar. And you can see the height of the bar, but you can't see this back wall. You can only see the front wall. Same with here, you can see this front, but you know there's a back wall there. So the isometric view just gives you another opportunity to see everything in relation to each other. And it's at an angle. So we're going to take our line. So this line right here is this line. And I'm not going to lie, I'm very bad at isometric views because you're creating a perception of an angle. So this is my wall here. I have to add depth to it because the material has a depth. All right, so you can see our wall here, that probably isn't high enough. So I want to make this steeple a little bit higher. And I will admit, for your paper drawing, you don't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be super to scale. You just want to make sure it gives you a good representation of what you're doing so you can easily look at it. Okay, so we can come over here. So I have a wall. Right? And like I said, the material has depth to it, right? So you can see like this is creating the depth, right? So you have to create depth here. Here's the other wall. See right here, if we were to draw that line, it would come up over there. I'm creating depth here. Again, I am not good at isometrics. See how that dowel rod? This dowel rod now overlaps that side piece. So you can kind of see what's going on here. It's not a great drawing, like I said, but it kind of gives you an idea. So what we do with these measurements here is we can actually put our dimensions. So thickness is important. So from here to here is 12 inches, which means from the inside, this is actually only 11 inches because this is 1/2, this is 1/2, which makes 11 inches wide. So remember, we have to have a floor, right? And we're going to put a top. So our top and our floor both have 1/2 inch. So if we look at kind of a side view or an X-ray view, right? So we're X-raying this. This is what that side looks like because we'll have the top here, bottom there. So we need this area to be at least 5 inches tall, at least. So we're probably going to want to make it maybe 5.5. Let's go with 5.5. That way we have a 1/2 inch of extra space between the box and the top of the lid. So if this is 5.5, that means from here to here. So that's 5.5 plus a 1/2, which is 6, plus another 1/2, which is 6.5. Now we have this section here, right? We have this top part there. So we actually have the person that wanted that we're doing this design for asked for it to be roughly around 11 inches tall. So if we want it to be 11 inches tall, we know that we're going to take the 6.5. This is supposed to be this is 11, right? So you just take the 11 minus 6.5 and you get, well, let's math it out, right? 11 minus 6.5, right? Be 5. The one here, make that a 0, right? All right. 10 minus 6 is 4. So this would be 4.5. You can see by looking here, we can make our adjustments. We're going to do the same thing with our top view. Here's my top view. Once again, the material has thickness to it, right? So we're going to take this same thing here. We know this is the side view, right? Side. This is the top view. So we have our top view here, right? And we know that this length is 12. Our width is 7.25, right? So we want to probably have a little bit of extra space in here. Probably want to go 7.5. So if this is 7.5 and each one of these is a 1/2 inch, that means we need to be a total of 8.5. See that? And then also we can come down here and we know this is 12. And this measurement lines up to this measurement. So you can see these two measurements are exactly the same. One second. Alright, so as you can see here, so this 12 measurement is that same 12 measurement over here, which is technically the same measurement you would see from here to there, right? And then of course we're going to have this dowel rod thing in here, and we'll probably put that, I don't know, this gap right there. We'll probably do maybe 1 inch. So the good thing about doing it on paper is you want to get your ideas down here, and then once you get into the program you can make changes, but it really helps to have everything in place. So we're going to do our dimensions on here too. So we have them. So we know this is 12. We know from here to here is 8.5. We also know from here to there is 6.5. We also know from here to there is 11. So you can see we're building our measurements here. We can even, if we wanted to, and it's good to mark, what is the thickness here? It's 1.2. Come here. 1/2, I'm sorry, 1/2, 1/2. So you can see like those things are important. If we're to put the rod in here, what is the size of the rod? The rod's going to be a 1 inch dowel rod at this point. So, but you can see with this, I already have an idea of exactly what I am doing. So we're going to stop it here, and then we're going to go into a part 2 in a few minutes.